Warning: the case you're about to hear was recovered from the restricted British Museum archive. Its contents have never been authorized for public release. Proceed at your own discretion. Case file NOA1903FF. Classification: Physician's Journal. Date of statement: 24th day of April, 1619. Location: Oxfordshire. Author: Dr. Samuel Wright, Physician Journal entry, The Merchant's Wife. I, Dr. Samuel Wright, physician, do journal about Eleanor Chambers. Eleanor is wife to a successful merchant in our town. She came to me complaining of voices she could not explain. At first she heard them as whispers at the edge of hearing. Gradually, they grew louder until she could understand words. The voices claimed to be women who had lived in her house. Her home was old, and many families had occupied it. The voices said they had all passed within those walls, some from childbirth, others from illness or age. They wished to speak of their lives and their deaths. Eleanor tried to ignore the voices, but they persisted. Soon she found herself speaking their words aloud. Her own voice would be replaced by others without warning. At dinner, she might speak in an old woman's cracked voice. At market, she might speak in a young woman's frightened tone. Each voice had its own manner and its own story. Eleanor's husband brought her to me, seeking medical help. He feared his wife was losing her reason. I examined her thoroughly and found no physical cause. Her mind seemed sound when her own voice was present, but the other voices emerged frequently during our conversation. One voice spoke of dying in childbirth in that very house. Another described succumbing to fever during winter. A third told of simply growing old and tired of living. Each voice wanted to be heard and remembered. They said living in the house made Eleanor sensitive to them. Her presence there had opened a connection between worlds. She could hear them, and they could speak through her. Eleanor begged me to make the voices stop. She said she could feel her own self shrinking. The other women's voices were crowding out her own thoughts. She feared she would be lost among them entirely. I attempted various treatments to quiet the voices: sleeping draughts, tonics, even bleeding to balance humors. Nothing diminished the voices' presence or strength. They continued to speak through Eleanor with increasing frequency. Her husband moved them to a different house hoping to escape, but the voices followed Eleanor to the new location. They said they were not bound to the house itself. They were bound to Eleanor now and would not leave. The new house began to collect its own voices. Women who had passed there also found they could speak through her. Eleanor became a vessel for the departed women of any place she entered. Her own voice was heard less and less often. She would sit silently until one of the other voices emerged. Then she would speak for hours in voices not her own. Her husband struggled to recognize his wife among the others. Sometimes days would pass without hearing Eleanor's true voice. I have documented her case but found no remedy. The voices have claimed her almost completely. Eleanor exists somewhere within but cannot break through. The departed women speak through her in endless succession, each telling their story before another takes their place. Dr. Samuel Wright, physician, Oxfordshire. 24th day of April, 1619. Archivist's note: Dr. Nathaniel Ashcroft. Multiple female voices possessing single female host appears in several documented cases. Whether Eleanor attracted specifically feminine spirits or location-based possession selected by gender remains unclear. Her ultimate fate undocumented beyond this physician's final entry. End of file. Case closed to public record. The original document remains sealed within the vaults of the British Museum. The NOA archive remains committed to documenting phenomena that defy conventional understanding. These cases are submitted for academic review and further investigation. Further access requires written authorization or curiosity strong enough to ignore the warnings. Until next time, these are the National Occult Archives.